coming on today. I say howdy. How's everyone doing? I hope everybody's doing good. We having a conversation about, and I'm trying not to offend anyone, but nowadays that's not always so easy to not offend anyone. But today we're going to be talking a little bit about being disrespectful, and we're going to talk a little bit about disrespect in marriage, um, being accused or misused or mistreated in marriage, and so a lot of people try to brush it off. The mistreatment, the maltreatment in a marriage. They try to brush it off, you all. But I am here to say that when you set boundaries before you enter into a relationship, it is far better when you set the boundaries up front. Because if you don't set the boundaries up front on the front end, as our Pastor Keon says, when you don't set boundaries on the front end, then you're going to suffer on the back end of a relationship. Now, a lot of times I get on here and I talk about marriage. I talk about marriage because this podcast is named Husband Love Your Wives, as if Ephesians 5:25 says, Husband love your wives as Christ loved the church. And a lot of times people, it seems as though some people don't even worry about it. And they don't worry about it until it hits their home. And after it hits their home, then they go like, oh, I need to do something. What's going on? I didn't think that it was going to be like this. And I want to share with you all that some people think that love is enough, but with marriage, yeah, I can say that, oh, it's excellent to have love because love is the base of a good marriage. It's good. But a lot of people don't know what love actually means. You all? I'm asking you all to like, share, and subscribe if you have not already done so. I also would like to ask you all to, if you know someone who might be having some issues in their marriage or going through some disrespect, and because I want to talk about this, you all, because um, a lot of people go through a lot of dysfunction just because they don't want to be alone. A lot of people go through a lot of dysfunction in their relationship, in their marriage, because they really don't want to be alone. And you can be in a marriage, believe this one, you can be in a marriage and still be alone. Okay? Especially when that other party is living a separate life. And you can be married 20, 30, 40, 50 years, 60 years, and still be alone in a marriage. And I love to say this, that a marriage takes two, a healthy marriage, it takes two mature people in a healthy marriage. So I'm just going to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe on this. And if you know anyone that just might benefit from this conversation, give them a call. Let them know that Husband Love Your Wives is on, and we're talking about handling disrespect in a marriage. Handling disrespect in a marriage and what needs to be done about it. Okay, because some people would never tell you that they're going through it, and it's really none of anybody's business, but you know. And yesterday we talked about in our service, we talked about how to be truthful to thine own self. You know what you're going through in your marriage or in your relationship. You know what you're fighting, so to speak, in your relationship. You know exactly what you're going through, and you're just putting up with it. But I want to tell everyone that it's good to set boundaries in the beginning. If you have a significant other or someone that's a potential lifelong partner, it's good for you to set boundaries in the beginning. and let them know that this is, if you believe that you got the wrong one, baby, if you think that I'm going to go through different things just because a lot of us in our youth, we grew up in dysfunctional families that were malfunctioning. And then as we grew up, we brought that along into our adulthood. And when in a marriage, that's two people that are coming from different families, and everything, some things that were all right in your family as you were growing up, it wasn't all right. It was taboo in the other party's family. It was taboo. You didn't do that. For instance, in my family, you couldn't use the word lie. Now you had to. That's how my mom and dad raised us. We couldn't even say the word lie. We had to say things like, "You telling stories." This is what we grew up with. But then when you come into another family, not only do they say lie, but they might curse as they say, "You telling a D lie." Okay, and so it's good to when you're getting to know your future spouse, it's good to know their background, where they come from, and respect it. Now, I'm gonna tell you something about that respect. A lot of people I've seen, they respect in the beginning. There's a respect in the beginning, but then later on in the relationship or in the marriage, they start disrespecting the partner. But in the beginning, they are just squeaky clean, everything going well. Just like I saw a cartoon-like thing that showed that in the beginning, the man wouldn't even have pass gas. You know, some people say FART. That's a word we could not use when I was a young girl. But you know, he didn't even want to have a flagellant. I think that's how you pronounce it. He did not want to because he didn't want to do that in front of his wife. He didn't do it, and he would run out of the house if he had to have one, right? Well, he went, but as time passed, a year later, he would pass gas with the wife in the bed with her. And so, know your boundaries. I heard, I believe it was Sarah Jakes Roberts that says that she even asked the Lord something that for him to regulate her gastrointestinal system so she wouldn't pass gas in front of her husband, and that is a normal thing to do, but it's a time and a place to do whatever. And so you need to know what's crossing the line in your marriage. Husbands, love your wives. Wives, reverence your husband. You need to know what is considered crossing the line in your marriage. You need to know what it means to go too far. And some of us go too far. And you never think, your spouse would say, a lot of people that go too far, a lot of times they will say, well, I didn't think you would ever leave me. But anybody can get so aggravated with a situation, especially when they've come to you and let you know how they feel about a particular situation. And if you have decided not to change it, if you have decided not to change the situation to make it better for your spouse or your significant other, then you don't leave a lot of options. You don't leave a lot of other options for that person, for that spouse. Let me give you all just a few different ways that you can be disrespectful in a marriage. And I said a few because listen to this. What's disrespectful to me may not be disrespectful to you. And that's all a part of knowing your spouse. Knowing. That's all a part of knowing your significant other. What's disrespectful to you may not be disrespectful to me. Okay? Some people might believe in giving the wife two black eyes, and they might think that's all right. I heard that it was still the law that on Sunday afternoon a man could bring his wife to the Capitol or somewhere, and he could beat on her. I heard that. Okay, that it's legal to do that, but is that disrespectful? You would say, oh, yes, oh, that's very disrespectful because my husband better not try that ever. What's disrespectful to you may not be disrespectful to your spouse. So therefore, you need to have that good, healthy communication. And you need to really get to know your person. You need to really take time to know your person. And I want to say this: when you bring about disrespect in the marriage, in the relationship, you need to be quick to make adjustments. When it is brought forward, that when they come and say, you said this to me, and I did not like it. And I'm not tolerating that. You need to listen, and then you need to change your behavior. Because when you don't change your behavior, that means that you're not respecting them. And when they set that boundary, and if you don't want to not cross the line, that means you don't mind being disrespectful, and you risk losing that person. You risk losing the marriage, the relationship. I was going to nursing school a few years ago. I got into my clinical, and I remember instructor saying, "How bad do you want it?" We were in the clinical part of of the schooling, and she would say that maybe at the beginning of the day. How bad do you want it? Well, I'm saying this to everyone that's listening to me today. How bad do you want your marriage? How bad do you want your relationship? And what will you do to keep that relationship, marriage, in a healthy position? Healthy relationship, healthy marriage, where you don't have to go to the bar and get a drink every day because you're not getting along with your spouse. Or you don't have to be an addict because you're not getting along, because it takes great effort to get along with your spouse. And sometimes you have to change your ways. You have to change your actions to have that good relationship. So how bad do you want that healthy relationship? Because it takes two. No one should ever have a load or a weight of the relationship in a marriage or any type of ongoing relationship. It should not be one person carrying the weight so heavy. It should not be. It's not meant to be like that. I know it wasn't meant to be like that because the Bible says two shall become one. Not one shall stay one, but two shall become one. And you need to have things together. Now, this is some of the disrespect in a marriage or in a relationship. This is some of the disrespect that I just want to bring to light if you don't know what disrespect could be in a marriage. And that is, physical uh, touching in a harsh way. That's disrespectful. Doing something to bring physical harm to your spouse. That's very disrespectful. Saying things, verbal, saying things to your spouse um, that is disrespectful, that they really wouldn't like criticizing them. They really don't like that. That's disrespectful. Okay. Saying, let's see, criticizing, humiliating them, intimidation, those things are very disrespectful. Name calling, yelling, disrespectful, insults, disrespectful. That's disrespectful for your spouse and your husband, ladies. Is supposed to be your king, and gentlemen, your wife is supposed to be your queen. So it's very disrespectful to say certain things to your husband, ladies, your king, and very disrespectful to say so. You have to watch your words. And I really can't emphasize that enough because communication, and sometimes it's really not what you say, but it could be how you say it. And it's very important. Disrespectful. I know a lady that I remember working with a lady that she thought it was okay to go into her husband's wallet to take some money when she got ready to and not ask him for it. And she would tell me about it. That she would just go into her husband's wallet and just start taking money. And in my mind, I was going like, whew, wow, that would really be an argument in my household. Yes. And she would. She would actually take it. So that was really disrespectful, especially to her husband when he found out about it, you know. But it's disrespectful when you try to control your spouse's money, and that wasn't in the beginning the way it was going to be. Disrespectful. Okay? Very disrespectful. It's disrespectful to come on your spouse's job to prevent them from working. That's disrespectful. See, some people think, oh, it's all right. Go ahead, do this and do that. No, some things people need to know. And if people like me don't come on and tell people, look, that's disrespectful. You shouldn't be doing that. Some people don't know. Some people weren't trained manners. They weren't trained. And I know that might offend somebody, but some people just don't know. Okay? Some people, it's disrespectful to um, make someone do something that they really don't want to do in a marriage. Disrespectful. Say, for instance, you and your wife are going somewhere and going out or whatever, and you want to stop by, and you didn't say anything about it, but you want to stop by the store and spend about 15 minutes in the store buying scratch offs. That's disrespectful to the wife. You didn't say anything about, well, I need to stop by the store. That's disrespectful because you have her waiting in the car 15 minutes while you handle doing some, scratching off, uh, you know, lottery tickets. And so, we want to talk about, being disrespectful in marriage. A lot of people don't talk about it, but I want to talk about the different things that a person can go through in a marriage that's totally disrespectful. And if you love your wife, your husband, then you will stop the disrespect and you will consider them. The word that I called out this morning, and I'm going to call it out right now, it's empathy. Empathy. And it's time out for thinking that you should put your wife or husband through anything, you all, or your significant other, or your potential life partner. Watch how we treat each other in this life, in marriage. You have to watch how you treat your loved one, you know? And I want us to establish healthy communication. Establish healthy communication. And wives, I just want to say this is, pray. It's very important to pray. Husbands, I want to say this. I want you all to pray. Pray for your wife. Wives, pray for your husbands. Your husband. I want to say that. Make sure it's one on one husband, one wife. All right. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I love you all. I hope you all had a wonderful day, and I hope you have even a better night tonight. I love you all, and until next time, peace.